2 preseason games, 0 wins. But that's not actually the story worth worrying about in Kansas City. There's a deeper trend developing, one that has nothing to do with the scoreboard and everything to do with what happens when Patrick Mahomes finally steps back on the field. Stick around, because this concern is more real than you'd think. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down an unexpected concern brewing around the Kansas City Chiefs offense, and why it matters a lot more than their winless preseason record suggests. Let's get into it. Let's be clear about something right away. The Chiefs' winless preseason record deserves almost no attention on its own. Preseason wins and losses simply don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But their repeated inability to finish promising offensive possessions is creating a genuinely unexpected concern, especially with Patrick Mahomes still working his way back from a serious knee injury. Kansas City followed up a 2012 loss to the Los Angeles Rams by falling 16-15 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Saturday night. Here's the thing, though. The Chiefs have actually generated enough offense to move the football effectively in both games. The real problem has been crossing the goal line once they get there. Let's break down exactly how this touchdown drought unfolded. Kansas City failed to score a single offensive touchdown in their preseason opener entirely. Rookie running back Emmett Johnson appeared to finally change that with a 4-yard touchdown run, only for a holding penalty to wipe the play off the board completely. The Chiefs eventually ended their preseason touchdown drought against Tampa Bay when Johnson scored from 3 yards out in the fourth quarter. But before that moment arrived, kicker Butker had supplied every single one of Kansas City's 9 points, making field goals from 26 yards, 48 yards, and an absolutely absurd 69 yards. Now look, a 69-yard field goal is genuinely entertaining to watch. But depending on your kicker to casually break an NFL record just to put points on the board isn't exactly a sustainable long-term offensive strategy. Here's a stat that really tells the story. The Chiefs actually reached Tampa Bay territory on 5 of their first 6 possessions, yet somehow entered halftime leading only 9-0. Quarterback Justin Fields completed 9 of 12 passes, but Kansas City still only averaged 5.3 yards per attempt with him running the offense. One possession even ended when Fields got strip-sacked after Kansas City had already crossed midfield. Penalties, protection breakdowns, and short completions have repeatedly stalled these drives before they could finish in the end zone. To be fair, these mistakes happened with several starters sitting out entirely, so declaring the regular season offense fundamentally broken based on this alone would be completely ridiculous. Preseason football is essentially audition tape dressed up as real competition. Still, the overall pattern is genuinely difficult to ignore. Kansas City has scored just 27 total points across 8 quarters of football, while producing only 1 actual offensive touchdown in that entire stretch. So let's talk about where Mahomes fits into all of this. He did not play against Tampa Bay and has yet to appear in a single preseason game this year. Head coach Andy Reid has remained understandably cautious, while his franchise quarterback continues returning from that significant knee injury he suffered last December. That caution makes complete sense from a health standpoint, but it also leaves Kansas City without any real opportunity to see their full offense actually operate against a legitimate opposing defense before Week 1 arrives. Mahomes has reportedly participated fully throughout training camp and wants to play in game action. Whether he actually appears against the Seattle Seahawks in the preseason finale remains undecided at this point. Realistically, the Chiefs probably can't learn much by risking him behind a shuffled, incomplete offensive line anyway, especially with starters Trey Smith and Josh Simmons currently sidelined. Here's the real concern, though. What exactly will Mahomes be inheriting once the actual regular season games begin? Kansas City missed the playoffs entirely last season, and it would be unreasonable to expect their quarterback to immediately erase every penalty, missed assignment, or failed red zone trip right after major knee surgery. Mahomes' ability to single-handedly rescue ugly offensive possessions has masked plenty of underlying flaws over the years. Assuming he can simply do that again right away, fresh off a serious injury, would be a genuinely dangerous assumption for this coaching staff to make. The Chiefs have exactly 1 preseason game left to actually clean up these surrounding issues before it matters. Whether they beat Seattle or not is completely irrelevant. What would actually be encouraging is seeing this team produce touchdowns on their own, without requiring Mahomes to perform weekly magic tricks just to bail them out. Kansas City's 0-2 preseason record will disappear the moment the regular season kicks off. But their habit of wasting productive offensive possessions, that's the trend that could follow them right into meaningful games. So what's your take? Is this a legitimate concern heading into the season, or just typical preseason noise that fixes itself once the real starters take over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. Subscribe for more Chiefs and NFL coverage all season long, and I'll see you in the next video.